Go for it. Go for it. Welcome, Doncaster East football lovers. You got a taste the other night when we gave you the first episode of Pride of the East, and now this is another edition that we're going to have throughout the year, Pete, and it's called Lions Legacies.
Yeah, that's right. We've got arguably the club's best player, Lee Murphy, 6th best and fairest, 2 premierships, played over 200 and odd games for the footy club.
250, mate.
Yeah, I think so, somewhere there.
So even more, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe 250.
Yeah,
You know.
No, I don't know.
He did leave for a couple of years. Did you count them? EFL games?
Yeah, we won't count those ones.
Yeah. Bit of music there.
But look, we've been able to, and I said it earlier, or the other night I should say, when Bucksy was on, that, you know, Mick Stevens is my all-time favourite, but I know you are my all-time favourite. Maybe when it was a player to watch every single year, you were the one that I named down there, and a superstar of the Eastern Football League, and an absolute champion of Doncaster East Football Club. So many memories you must have down at the Den and Zerby's Reserve. It's a place that it was great to have you come back and finish your career back at Doncaster East. And probably a chance now as our first guest on Lions Legacies to talk about your career and talk about the way that you finished up as well, because everyone just has such an admiration for you and what you did for this football club, and we wouldn't have got to where we were without your contribution, mate. So thank you from everybody, and just talk to us about where it all started. Let's we like to say wind it back. Let's wind it back to where it all began.
So what, with East Donny or yeah. Well, the first time
you can go back to age 3 or
age 3. No, well, the first time I came to East Donny was watch my older brother play, Brett, who was he probably was, you never bet players. He was pretty average. So I came down to watch him play on a Saturday arvo. He played in the twos majority of his career, and played a few senior games, but that was my sort of first introduction to East Donny. Just watching as a spectator.
That's Doncaster East, mate.
Sorry.
That's your first one.
Donny East. So that was my first sort of introduction to the footy club, and I enjoyed watching. And then I think the following year, it might have been Souser or Higo or someone along those sort of lines that said, come down and have a bit of a run.
I think it was a great Barry Higgins.
It could have been Barry Higgins, yeah, it might have been. So I came down as a sort of 17-year-old still at Whitefriars in year 12 and had a bit of a kick. And I haven't really looked back since. Yeah, I was lucky I sort of had that introduction through Brett, of all people, who was, who was a shocker.
I think a lot of people don't know, Murph was a high-level cricketer, so played a lot of district cricket, so a lot of his time he couldn't do pre-seasons and all that sort of stuff. So I think Brett got him down there, but I think cricket took priority then, is that right?
I'd say so, yeah.
So he didn't do much of a pre-season. I think that probably changed later in his career when he went to the Great Glen Waverley Cricket Club and played there. It's another story.
Even I had a season there as well.
I think everyone's played a game down there, I think, at some stage.
That's a story in itself about playing cricket at Glen Waverley. But so Murph then obviously took it a little bit more seriously as he got older. But who was your first coach at Donny East?
First coach was
it Dallas?
Dallas Van Unen, yeah.
Great man, Dallas.
So Dallas, that would have been 2000, possibly, I think?
Yeah,
2000, 2001, I reckon.
Yep.
Yeah, Dallas, his first coach.
And then he moved on. It was because I think he was busy at work or something came up, and then Paris came in. Is that
Paris, so Paris coached 2002, I reckon.
That's right.
And that was when we played Ronnie South in the Granny, where we sort of came from nowhere. I think we just stuck in on percentage in the finals. Yeah. Had to make the finals, and then got a bit of a hot streak and nearly stole one from Ronnie South.
And sorry, Benny.
You keep rolling.
No, and then 2003 we were odds-on favourite. Is that right? And we lost. We went out in straight sets.
Yeah. 2002 was probably we sort of got under the radar a bit and sort of nearly stole one. 2003 were probably the best side.
Holmesy?
And then
Benny Holmes?
It might have been the first year Holmesy came, although he might have come the year after. I can't remember exactly, but 2003 we...
Who were some of the names that played that year?
2003. I think Ash O'Neill might have been captain, possibly. Molinaro, Parthenidis brothers, Yoa, the Higos, obviously.
Yeah.
Carts, I think might have been there.
Yeah. Big Eddie Patterson.
Eddie Patterson in the ruck. Yeah.
Jazza Lucas.
Jazza Lucas, yeah.
Althea.
One of those sponsors.
Althea, Althea. I think he might have won the BNF that year, possibly. Althea, yeah. But there's a whole group of guys around the same age sort of coming through.
A lot of white fries.
A lot of white fries boys. But yeah, 2003 we sort of, I guess you could say we just choked really. Had the best side, and went out in straight sets to Coldstream and Norwood, I reckon.
Yep.
And Norwood have gone pretty well since. So
yeah. And then 2004, pretty similar, was it?
2004 I was overseas. So I missed that year.
Oh, that's right. When you went over to England for cricket.
Went overseas, played cricket for a year, so I missed that year. Obviously didn't make finals that year.
Yeah, that's why.
And then back
you told us that after a few drinks.
And then back in 2005.
2004 we didn't make the finals.
2004 we had, I think Holmesy won a coach possibly.
No, that was 2-6. That was 206.
Oh, was it? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So 2004 we had a similar side. I think we had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, and then,
so I've been told.
Then 2005 lost to Bayswater.
2005 lost to Basie, and we're odds on again. So I think we started getting a bit of a name for ourselves as a bit of
choking.
Probably choking. Those couple of speed hump.
Yeah.
Those sort of 2003 to 2005 era. But so 2005 lost to Basie.
Yeah.
I think we lost one game for the year.
And along the way, you were obviously playing cricket as well. Were you still playing district then when you were?
I reckon I stopped playing districts in 2005. I reckon.
Yeah. And then went locally.
And then went to Glen Waverley.
Yeah.
So and that's when I probably started doing pre-seasons when I went to Glen Waverley. So I hadn't really done a pre-season until I was about 24, I reckon, 23, 24.
But that's football. You're still training in district cricket, so you did as a trainer.
Yeah, you sort of, but I wouldn't say I was. Yeah, I'd probably take a while to get going in the footy season, just because.
Cricket's a different
it's different. Yeah, cricket you might, you're in the field all day. You might go for a couple of runs here and there, but it's not like footy specific training.
Fair,
so, and then so I wouldn't have said probably hadn't done a pre-season until 23, 24, and that's when I probably started playing better footy, I suppose, probably around that time, I guess.
Then 2006, Holmesy coach, you didn't play that year, is that right?
No, I played, so missed 2004, played 2005, and then played from there.
So, 2006 Holmesy coach.
Yep.
We lost a lot of players, remember, that year. We just missed out on finals. Holmesy, that was Holmesy's last year. Then he moved on. He played the greatest game again. Remember that game against South Croydon?
I was actually thinking of really good games, which you're going to ask me about. And that was one of the best I've seen an individual play. I think he might have kicked, he kicked 7 playing on the ball and centre forward. But he basically just won us the game against South Croydon. Yeah. And I think that was when Paris might have just left.
He went to South Croydon, that's correct.
Yeah. And that was probably one of the most memorable wins we've had as a footy club, I reckon. Without the finals.
And we did have already a bit of a rivalry with South Croydon. There was a rivalry, because in Bayswater that game, there was a bit of an argy-bargy in the crowd. And they all sort of went to that game, then Paris went there. So there was a lot of spite in that game, and I remember Holmesy playing one of the best games as well. Yeah, it was
one of the all-time games I've seen, I reckon.
And then 2007.
2007,
we had a good year that year.
Well, we had Razor, Cameron Gillette came for the year, and he sort of, anyone who knows Razor's pretty full on and pretty strict, and the pre-season was like no other I've had before in my life, I reckon. We had to carry 2 bricks around basically for a whole pre-season. If someone forgot their brick, and they have to run 5-10k, but there was no way we weren't going to win that year, just with the pre-season we had. And we had a good side as well, and probably because of the couple of losses we had in previous years, I think everyone was pretty switched on for that year, and it was a good year.
And didn't want to carry 2 bricks each for the next pre-season.
No, exactly right. So we put those bricks aside. Well, Razor was only there for 1 year anyway, so he just came in, got the job done,
the microphone,
and took off with his bricks.
And then we went into second division. We went in and we lost a lot of players that year. A lot of retired. And I mean, Murph was probably the lone soldier, to be honest, for probably 2008 and until the year that you went to Tempe. But we did have some testing times in Div 2. I think everyone sort of looks at the present, but we did have some really testing times with player turnover, with things like that. I know that you probably sometimes got sick of playing, and Murph had, not trying to blow wind up his bum, but would honestly have 3 taggers on him at a game. They knew that if they stopped Murph, they would win. So that was probably a bit of a hard. I can imagine you not waking up being too fond of footy for a few years.
Yeah, 2008 we went to second divvy, and we sort of always just around sort of mid-table towards sort of between 5 and 8. We played finals one year, I reckon, 2010 against Montrose.
Yeah, up and then around then, yeah.
And even that year we went to, we had a couple of injuries. Like, I remember we had Andrew Gillum came and played. I think did Van Noonan might have played that year.
Yeah.
Played full forward, possibly.
Oh, maybe the year after.
Was that the year after?
Yeah, somewhere.
But yeah, we sort of were just always around sort of around mid-table, probably for 2008 till 2015, basically.
Yeah.
The
year we played. Yeah.
So yeah, it was getting a bit frustrating, sort of finishing in those sort of in that area of the ladder. But obviously the club's gone bigger and better now, and in Premier Division now. So all those tough years that we had probably made us where we are today anyway.
And then you went to Tempe for a few years, obviously to change it up, and probably the reasons that I spoke about to freshen up your footy as well. Did you enjoy those years?
I did enjoy it. It was sort of I think I needed a bit of a get out of my comfort zone sort of thing and just try something different, try the coaching, which I didn't mind doing. But at the end of the day, I think
Learn from Rick, eh?
Learned from Rick, Ricky Irwin. But I think I did enjoy my footy there, but I probably wouldn't have been playing in 2018, which, we won the flag obviously in 2018, if I probably hadn't have gone and done something a little bit different just to freshen up for a bit and enjoy footy. But 2018, I just loved that year, just not having any sort of, just as a player and just not having any sort of responsibility as a coach or a captain and just play. And that was a really enjoyable year, obviously, winning the flag.
Finishing on a high note, hey?
Finishing on a high and just being one of the boys, and, I really loved it.
And yet, the reports are you hadn't lost your party ability after 2018.
Oh, look, I've been away for a few years, so I thought I'd better put it up those 3 years I was away, just to put it back into a couple of nights after the granny, which was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Biggest influence on your career, man?
Oh, I'd have to say Dad in both footy and cricket. He never really coached me or anything like that, but he just sort of always gave me advice. And if I
always had his spot in the ground as well.
He's a bit of a weird unit when it comes to those sort of things. You'd go and stand in the corner, and he was worse in cricket. I'd be batting and I'd look over there and he'd be hiding behind a pole or something because he's his lucky spot. But he's obviously very supportive to all the boys. But I'd say he probably would be,
Pretty special to have your family involved. Wife and daughter for your last game, which was a premiership as well.
Yeah.
That's a great moment.
No, that was good, and got some good photos and things out of that. And Jodie's obviously been a huge support for me, and Miller loves coming up to the footy club and putting the footy jumper on and having a run around. And she's spewing at the moment because she was looking. Saturday afternoon she loves coming up and running around with all the kids, and hopefully it gets going again soon so she can do that as well.
And now you're retired, your wife's playing footy.
Oh, yeah, she thinks she is. No, she is. She's Old Trinity, but I don't know if our season's going ahead, but she's thinks she's playing. I can't really say anything. I've played for all those years and through injuries, and she's been supporting me, so I better support her. But no, in all honesty, if she wants to play, she can play. I think it'll be her last year anyway, even if it goes ahead or not. But no, she's been a good support.
She's probably pulling a few strings. She can maybe get us on the park a bit quicker, being Eastland's a big sponsor of the league.
She might be able to pull a few strings. She could be,
On Jodie.
Yeah, I know. So, pull your finger out. But no, we'll see. Yeah, see how we go.
And off field, we spoke about your family. You're a personal trainer for a bit. Then I
was a personal trainer for a little while.
Train me.
Train the great man, Pete. Got him in some ripping Nick.
Yeah, you did actually.
And Michael, your brother, as well. So I did that for a bit,
And now you're
police,
policeman.
Yep.
So you've done that for how long now?
I reckon 9 years now.
Yeah, that's
gone very fast.
Yeah, and going back to cricket, you played. Your last game was a premiership for Glen Waverley.
No, we actually lost. So that was we lost won the year before and lost the last year against the Cavaliers. And made 100 though. So.
Yeah, that's not bad. That was. But now the exciting thing is you're going to be back to play cricket at Glen Waverley, and there was a bit of movement in my old man's pants when you told him that.
That was pretty exciting times for Dave. But no, I'm not playing footy, obviously. I need to do something sort of competitive again, and I tried golf, but I'm just rubbish. So I need to Yeah, and cricket, I've missed sort of the last year or two playing cricket, so it'd be good to get out there this year and play with. And I think you're playing as well, Pete, aren't you?
Yeah,
that was part of the contract. So,
yeah.
What was old mate like to play with on the football field?
I enjoyed Pete. If I ran past him, he'd give me the ball. So,
If I wasn't sitting on the bench.
Yeah, if he was on the bench. But no,
Murph didn't start at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly right. No, Pete was good to play with. And the one game I played cricket with Pete, he ended up kicking the stumps over. Remember that?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And that was the last game he played for a bit,
I think that's right, yeah.
He just said you walked into the stumps and the stumps were 30 metres down the ground.
This isn't about me, I'm supposed to be... And so you spoke about Holmesy, that individual game.
Yeah.
Best players you've played with? You've played with, I'm guessing a few.
Yeah, Holmesy...
Your favourite players as well, sort of.
Favourite players?
Holmesy still played last year.
Yeah, Holmesy, yeah. Well, Holmesy he was... The sort of player he was, he sort of brought a bit of professionalism to the club as well, which is really good. Because I think as we said earlier, we were sort of around that sort of mark where we were sort of mid-table, and Holmesy came and he's obviously so fit and such a good player. He sort of lifted other players around him. So I'd say Holmesy was one of the best players I played with. Favourite players, I mentioned Brad Higgins earlier. He's always been one of my favourites just because you sort of know what you're going to get every week with Brad in the back pocket. He'd beat his man, run off, give me the ball as well, which is always a good thing as well. But he would just do things on the footy ground. He was just so tough, and you just sort of walk a bit taller with him, and sort of similar to like Timmy Whitty sort of type as well. They're just so courageous, and probably like because I'm not that courageous, I sort of look to those sort of guys where, and I'm not that sort of player. So
and he's protecting us as a society as well.
yeah, exactly right. But no, those two guys are probably my favourite sort of types. But and Mick has said to mention him before. That 9 goals he kicked against Croydon, that was pretty special. So yeah, Mick, he's a terrific player. And as in the last week's episode with Bucks talking about him, you walk a bit taller with guys like Mick on the ground. Yeah, definitely.
Who was your favourite club to... Sorry, Pete.
No, you go.
Who was your favourite clubs to beat?
To beat? Well, South Croydon. We used to like beating South Croydon. We had a bit of a rivalry with them. Obviously, Doncaster, there's a bit of rivalry there with Doncaster. What other clubs have we got? Nothing really jumping out at me.
No,
but yeah, Donny and South Croydon, also we had good rivalries with. And yeah, Croydon as well, actually. So yeah, they used to sort of beat us up a bit with their sort of older types, and it was good to sort of beat them up for the last couple as well.
Yeah. And so have you got any intentions to get into coaching or anything like that, or?
Not really, to be honest. I sort of just like watching on the sides and having a beer with the guys.
Stand on the hill.
Stand on the hill and just, exactly. So, no, I'll sort of, enjoy watching. Love going up to the club and having a look, but probably not at this stage,
Surely so you followed Brett down to Doncaster East. You're the club legend down there, leaving a great legacy. Surely you're going to coax Mark when he hangs up the boots when that time comes with the Blues to come on down to the Den.
Well, everyone else is heading down there, so he may as well.
It's a place to be.
It's a place to be. Whitey, he's good mates with Whitey, so it's a good start.
Yeah.
No, we only get delisted players.
Yeah, I won't comment there, but no, who knows? He might come down for a few games and he might fall in love with the place and he might play a season or two.
Fingers crossed, that's for sure.
Murph, as we said at the start, probably arguably, if not the Donny East's greatest player, we thought what a great person to get on for our first legend Legacies, and really appreciate your time and what you've done for the club on field, off field. Always the ones that come to the functions and support the club. You've always been like that. We appreciate it. Love seeing you around the place, and all the best.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Johnny Murph.
Cheers.
What a great guest Lee Murphy is. And Lions Legacies, there's Legacies left, right and centre tonight. It's our sensational sponsors segment, and we do that on all our shows here for the Doncaster East Football Club. And there's certainly Legacies sitting to the left of me, because David Sousby is one of the major sponsors, as we all know, of the Doncaster East Football Club and his business, his family business, which is Walsh and Whitelock. And we've got him on our first show tonight. We're pulling out all the big guns for the first week. Welcome, Dave.
Thanks, Ben. Good to be interviewed by the number one interviewer in the Mitcham.
Well, that's now Pete anyway. After our first show the other night, Pride of the East, but. you've had a big involvement in local sport and community as a business for a very long time. Talk about what that means for Walsh and Whitelock to be part of that community feel and community sport in particular, because your children have always been involved as well.
Yeah, well, it's always been involved myself personally in suburban sport, I should say, for a long time as a young bloke.
We'll get to your career, Dave.
Oh, not that, but it's always been a big passion of mine, I should say.
Yeah, absolutely.
But work-wise, I just think it's part of running a business. You've got to support community, sports, charities, whatever. That's all part of it if you can afford to do it. And it's always I've always liked community sports, so we've always thought that's part of running a business. Run a real estate business out of Brunswick, and the family's all involved, including Pete and son Michael. So it's but been a part of our philosophy that you have to support community sport, and we've always thoroughly enjoyed it. Certainly got more out of I've got more out of it than what I've put in. Put it that way. So it's always been a big part of our life.
Amazing, and then you've also been a big player in getting other businesses as well to jump on board. So, what's your approach when you get? Look, this is a magnificent board, and well done to Pete and to all the committee for getting all these sponsors on board. But what's the approach? What's the sell about getting somebody on board to a great football club like Doncaster East?
Mate, it's basically blackmail, really. that's it. No, I mean, obviously we have people that work for us, and they've got the same philosophy as us, so they sort of put the hand in the pocket. The suppliers we have involved in our work, but no, we haven't had much trouble with Steve Tenke coming on board the last couple of years as our sponsorship coordinator. Steve's got a few good contacts. Hope he doesn't mind me saying that, but to be perfectly honest, it hasn't been that hard. I mean, people come down to the club. They've got a couple of new sponsors this year, and they come to the club and they just see how much people enjoy it. And I think you too, Ben. I mean, I think it's not a real hard sell, because I think the club's always had a good philosophy. It's, whether you're in 4th Division, 5th Division, 1st Division, Premier Division, just it's an enjoyable place to be. And I think a lot of good people over a lot of years have made it a good place to be, and I think the club's got the right philosophy. So the sponsors come down and see that, and some have been very generous and put their hands in their pocket. But I don't think it's been that hard to sell, because people enjoy the philosophy behind the club. Amazing.
And talk Walsh and Whitelock. There isn't really a suburb around Melbourne that I haven't not seen. I think when you get like a real estate agency that narrow themselves into one area, you seem to you pop up in pockets. So is there nowhere where Walsh and Whitelock won't go? No, there's probably nowhere we don't go. We just sold a very expensive house during the week. We just sold a house up in Woomaling, which is about an hour out of Swan Hill, and we got a really good price for that one. We sold for $38,000. So, yeah, Woomaling. So we can spend the whole interview on that if you like. But I've got another one for sale in Corangavar, which is just out of Wedderburn. Look, the thing is, we've had a business for a long time. Not knocking people in our business who are tied up to franchises, got a lot of branch office, etc., etc. We've just got the one office. And we actually deal with people. We don't pretend we've got 300 salesmen or whatever, and people have that philosophy, but we've just got the one business, and people come to us because we know them. Hopefully we do the right thing, so we're not governed by boundaries. The only thing, we've got a licence to sell real estate in Victoria, so our boundaries are limited to Victoria, so if people want to deal with us, then we're happy to do so. But we do move far and wide. Our office is actually in Brunswick, so most of the real estate geographically is around Brunswick. But these days with the web, etc., etc., it's not like the old days when I started, where your office was what really counts. So with the internet, etc., where your office is situated is not so important, because people go straight to the web and come to you. So you're right, we do go far and wide, but probably we have to go that. We'll go anywhere to chase a buck, as long as we get paid. That's our philosophy. Well, your history does give you an edge in real estate, that's for sure. And did yourself or Pete or Mick or whoever went out there for that sale up in that town nearly by it yourself? Put your own hand up. Yeah, well, we only went to Woomaling. Or did you buy the town?
The helicopter.
The club helicopter. Actually, no, we actually went there. They were the only first time ever which we were on 100% commission rate. So we got $30,000 for selling it, so that was fair. No, that's just one out of the box. To be honest, I can't think of the last house we sold for $38,000. You'd have to go back in the 70s. But, anyhow, that was just a client that lives in Coburg who's got a few properties, so he asked us to do it because that's who she wanted to do it. So we just did hopefully the right thing and made a sale.
Yeah, fantastic. Are there any other businesses that you're affiliated with at Walsh and White, like that you thought might deserve a shout, or
I wouldn't deserve a shout out. Well, we do deal with a few other businesses, but probably really just behind me, the sponsors board, if we let them that. I mean, there's a lot of, wouldn't mention, but just the likes of Peter Monahan, Eco Plum, Glenn Bird at Ramboard, Jeff Lowther Builders, and I'm not denigrating all the others are fantastic, but just like Mono was, been in the club since in the 70s and was captain in 1981. Really, I mean, he thinks a bit of a lout, but like other blokes, he's a bit of a soft teddy bear. He's a soft teddy bear, but he sponsored the club for over 40 years. Birdie a bit the same. Birdie played over 270 games for the club and puts his hand in his pocket. A lot of people around the comp would know him, but it's just it's good to see. I never played at the club. I mean, obviously Peter, who's president now, my son Michael played at the club, so that's my involvement. But these guys who support the club and put their hands in the pocket for a long time. Sorry?
Who is your favourite son?
I haven't got one there. Both equal come last. Equal last sons, yeah. No favourites, for God's sake. Thank God I had 3 daughters. Or maybe 5 daughters.
And we talk about the legacies as well, and it's there's new generation Sowersby's coming through thick and fast, because that's what you do well. And it looks like they'll be coming up through the Beverley clubs through to Doncaster East. So imagine the day when you get to see Harry Ollie or Jack or and any of the grandkids come through and play for Doncaster East. That'll certainly be a moment.
Maybe Gracie and Hannah. These days, I've got 5 grandsons and 2 granddaughters, and young daughter Jane's expecting a baby in a few weeks, so obviously very proud of that. But no, it'd be great to see like all the Sowersbys. They'd have to extend the interchange bench to 5, so I get all the kids on the bench like me and my 2 sons. Have 5 in the interchange bench, 5 sons. No.
You're part of the brethren of Doncaster East, and it's a great crew as well. It's for young people coming up, the likes of yourself and all the guys, and you've mentioned a few of them just only moments ago. That's what you look to when you go, I want that when I'm older. And you've worked hard, you've had your family, your kids have grown up, and you get to go to the football with your mates. I absolutely love that concept, and that's why I like coming down and having a beer with you guys, because I like that camaraderie that you've got there, and it's pretty special. I'm pretty lucky.
Well, no, thanks for saying that, and you're always welcome there. As you know, been a great supporter of our club. But no, just guys like Elf. I mean, everyone mentions Elf Molinaro, but Elf and I are good mates for a long time. Adam, his son's one of on the coaching panel, played over 300 games there. These guys are lifelong friends now. I mean, It's not just a footy club; it's a way of life. So this year to be sort of not getting goings, I mean, it's just been. It's been sad, really. I mean, no other way. Just on the field and off the field, just not seeing these guys. There's a lot of guys there who known for a long time and meet socially, and football's a big part of the community. So, it's been a good club like that. We've always felt most welcome, and I think otherwise, if you didn't, you wouldn't be there. I mean, got a big family, and if it wasn't enjoyable, you certainly wouldn't put the time in there. But no, I can't remember. There's been very few bad moments about being up the club, and that's has been as honest as I can. I think. We started there, I think Mick started there about 1993 in the juniors of Beverly Hills. So that's a long time ago now. I think that's about 10,000 cans worth. No, that's 27 years. So,
Alfie probably picked up 8,000 of them.
28, yeah, but I paid for mine. It's just not been recorded, is it? It is. I'm joking, yeah.
Great stuff. this show's going to go for a long time, so we'll have plenty of opportunity to chat to you again. But sensational sponsors at Doncaster Easter, long-time sponsors, Walsh and White, Lockout in Brunswick, but online everywhere. Their history gives them their edge in real estate. So all your friends and family, get around it. And if you're in the market, because I hear in the grapevine that it might be a good time, and we wish all the people the very best who have gone through tough times with their homes and leases and all that sort of stuff as well. So it's a difficult time for the market and for lots of people, but we'll rise above it. We'll be good, and when we need to get back on the horse, we go to Walsh and Watt.
No, that's it. Yeah. Well done, Ben. Good
Fantastic.
support.
Good on you,
Thanks,
Dave.
mate. Cheers. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Pete.
Well, as always, the coffee's been hot and delicious, and I tell you what, Lions Legacies, I really enjoyed that tonight. You know, Lee Murphy, club champion, and of course David Sousby, who's also a club champion, your old man. And
next week I might get my sister on or my brother. It's going to be a family thing. Keep pumping up the business.
Oh, great stuff, mate. It's we'll get closer. Next time we might have a better update for you for when things might be turning around and we're getting back on the park. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy your cuppa. Cheers.
On you, Benny.